everyone. I am Rayan Al-Maskari and you are watching the FunCast. This is a show for everyone and anyone who deeply wants to explore all the ideas of fun. On this episode, joining me today on the studio is Rabab Al-Lawati, a Awani girl who has her own unique meaning of the word fun, which might differ to a lot of young people nowadays. So welcome Rabab to the studio. Thank you for coming today.
Thank you, Rayan. Thanks for having me today.
How are you today?
Yeah, I'm pretty good, thank you. How are you?
Good, thanks for asking. So Rabab, what do you do for fun?
So I really love to spend my time outdoors, whether that includes walking or hiking or riding my bike. And I have an interest in wildlife photography, so I love going out and walking in forests and just taking photos of any wildlife that I see, and especially birds. So that's what I like to do active-wise, but like everybody else, I do feel lazy sometimes, and when I do feel lazy, I like to sit at home with a cup of coffee or tea or something and just read or waste my time watching Korean dramas or any kind of other drama, really.
Nice.
And occasionally just go out to a coffee shop and just sit there.
Nice. So what would you say your passion in life?
So my passion in life at the moment is wildlife photography. So that's what I mainly do in my free time. So that's my passion. And because I'm studying wildlife and conservation biology, I would really love to become a wildlife biologist in the future and help save species from extinction, especially at the rate that they're going extinct today. So I think that's pretty much my main goal.
Mm-hmm. And why has this become your passion in life? What made you so interested in it?
Well, I've always loved animals from a young age. And initially, I wanted to become a horse or a bird vet. But I eventually realized that I love wildlife a lot more than domesticated animals, so I decided that something out in the field would be a better option for me.
Mm-hmm.
And that's pretty much how I came to wildlife and conservation biology. Like, I didn't mean to find it, it just happened to be there.
That's interesting. So what would you say your most underrated places you have ever been to?
So there are heaps of underrated places in Melbourne. I guess it would be too broad to talk about the entire world or like places that I've visited. But I mean, Melbourne-wise, there's this park that I used to live really close to, and I'm still fairly close to, and it's called Plenty Gorge Parklands, and it's an amazing place to just walk in. It's full of trees, full of beautiful wildlife. So if you ever want like a relaxing walk in nature, you can just go there and spend time there. And because I love animals and insects, I find heaps of them there, so I really love just spending my time there and just taking photos of all the wildlife. And then there are a few other places like Queenscliff and Point Lonsdale. They have really amazing shores, and there's this tower that you can go up to and get a 360 view of the entire coastline and the piers and everything. And there's quite a lot of places, really. So again, Frankston's coastlines and a town called Larimar, which is really pretty. It's like a really quiet town. And you can just go there, sit in a coffee shop, and it has heaps of birds, which is great for me.
It's really impressive to see you know all these places. So you would say it's easy for other people to go to these places?
I think it's definitely easy. All of the places I mentioned are public transport accessible.
Nice.
And it doesn't cost that much to get there. And
That's right.
all you need to do is really plan your day and plan your time. So if you do that, you'll be fine.
Mm-hmm. And what's the best adventure you have ever been to?
So there's quite a few, but I think the most recent one that I've really enjoyed and I'll remember forever is when I was taking photos of wildlife, and then I came across this little kangaroo joey who his mum had abandoned. And so I wasn't really sure what to do. I told my friend about it, I took some photos, and I was like walking back and forth deciding what I should do. But then I decided that he's probably going to die if I don't like do something about it. So I went up to him, and right when I approached him, he actually approached me, which was great. And I was like, oh, this is such a cute kangaroo joey. And then I managed to get him inside my backpack, because my backpack, or any bag really, is really similar to the pouch that they spend their time in, when they're in their mother's pouch. So I just kind of
felt right at home.
Yes, exactly. Well, not right at home, but pretty close. So I moved the stuff around in my bag, and he just went in. He knew he was meant to go in. And then I ended up contacting some wildlife rescuers and just taking him to one of them, and they're currently taking care of them. So he's currently at a sanctuary called Jabs, and you can like follow them on Facebook, see their updates. So I love getting updates on him. And I named him Hopkins, so I think he's like my little boy now.
Nice. So you rescue animals now?
Well, I've rescued one animal, so I wouldn't say I'm a rescuer, but if I lived here and I had a place of my own, I would definitely love taking courses about how to rescue animals and just taking care of them. But obviously, I can't really do that at the moment.
How often do you see injured animals in the wildlife?
Actually, not that often, so which is a good thing. But then I feel like most animals get injured along roads that aren't really frequented by public transport, and so I'm not really there to see them.
Okay.
Except when we go on road trips in a car or something, then you actually see all the dead wombats, all the dead kangaroos that have been hit by cars. And most of the time it's too late to save them, but it's always important to check their pouches in case they've got babies. Yeah.
So, how did your passion help you discover new food?
Well, because when you're out there in the field or like out there, you tend to go to new places that you haven't been to before. And so you're kind of forced to explore new restaurants and that kind of thing. But when I'm out discovering, I don't really go and eat proper food. I tend to just hang around a coffee shop or something. So at Larimar Town, I actually found this little coffee shop and I love sitting there and just having a coffee and some cake. And then Queenscliff also has this other coffee shop which is really beautiful and it's just along the beach. And they have this really delicious orange cake which I tried. So I think through these things you get to try more things. For me, more of desserts rather than actual food. But the Wilson's Prom camping trip, the food was just great. The burgers we got were amazing. And nobody can beat Mariam's tea. It was just amazing. So yeah.
Yeah, so I'm very impressed with all the adventures and the stories I hear from you. How do you balance between that and your full-time studying?
Well, the thing is, if you really want to do something, you'll find the time for it. So back when I was studying in foundation, I had uni 5 days a week. So obviously I only had the weekend to explore. So I tried to finish all my work during that weekday and then just exploring in the weekends. But now I've actually got less days that I need to come to uni in. So time management hasn't really become a problem anymore because I have so much time. It's just about finding the energy and effort to explore new places which can run out. And you have to get a car really because all the places that are accessible on public transport you just seem to run out of.
Yeah. So you mentioned volunteer work. Where
Yes,
do
I
you
did.
go and what do you do?
So where I'm currently volunteering, and I try to go every week, but obviously with life you can't really go every week. But it's a place called Ceres Joe's Market Garden. So it's basically a garden where they produce organic food. And so they grow vegetables and everything. And every Wednesday and Friday from 9:30 to 1, they have the volunteering opportunity. So I usually go on Wednesdays. And what we do is that we harvest plants, we de-weed, we clean out the place, from the weeds and everything. And it's a really fun experience because you get to not only learn about gardening and plants and everything, you also get to meet new people. So everybody comes from a different background with different talents and everything, and just talking together is really fun. And we tend to have a 1-hour break in between where people bake food and bring things to eat and drink. At some stage we even made soup during that break. And we just all eat and talk together. It's a really fun experience. It's kind of like a little cute community.
What would you say you get out of volunteering?
Well, first of all, you get to learn new things. You get to acquire new talents and that kind of thing. And you're also helping the community in some way. So I think it actually makes you feel better about yourself in some way. And you're also helping out, so it probably makes the people in charge also feel better. So I think it's a great place to just develop your talents and social skills as well.
That's nice. So we heard a lot about your carrot cake.
My carrot cake.
Tell us more about it. How did it come up to be?
So it was actually a very random recipe I found online. I did not choose it, pretty much. I went oh, this one doesn't have much ingredients. I'm just going to choose that carrot cake. And I made it, and I wasn't really confident about how it tasted. But then it turned out all right, and I just became obsessed with it. And I just kept on making it, and making it.
And you took it everywhere.
I took it everywhere.
And now your name is associated with the carrot cake.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. And have you ever considered expanding your findings on social media platforms, say, for example, YouTube channel?
I have, but I feel like it's a lot of work, and it's going to take a lot of energy. So I did actually open a YouTube channel a few years ago, and I just made a few videos about the life cycle of a butterfly. But that's because I had the entire summer to waste, so I had a lot of time on my hands.
Mm-hmm.
But I feel like now I'll probably have to know how to manage my time more properly to actually make these videos and actually be more creative as well.
That's nice. So I wish you all the best and all the luck in your future adventures.
Thank you.
And would love to hear more about it. And yeah,
Thank you.
thank you
Thanks
for
having
joining
me.
us here.
Yeah, thanks. It was really fun.
Thank you for tuning into the FunCast with Rayan Al-Maskari. If you enjoyed watching this show and would like to know more, check out at food.artists1 or please leave us a review on YouTube. Join us next time when we invite another special guest and stay tuned for the topic.